going. Andrew's gonna. All right. Okay. Thanks, guys. Thanks so much for coming here. So most of you know me. I'm Natalia Schneimler, for those of you who don't, and I'm a life coach. And today I really want to tell you about how to feel better when we feel really stuck, frustrated, depressed, or even just a bad day, right? Usually we have our own resources, but I have a new idea for you today. And the reason why I want to tell you this is because I am so passionate about this, obviously, as you can tell, that it truly changed my life. It changed the way I look at my relationships, at myself, at my husband, my kids. I mean, most of you know that I have 4 kids, and I have spent a lot of time yelling at them, and I was really frustrated. I was super, angry, disappointed. I did not know how to stop yelling and how to get them to do things that we needed to get done. And so I was desperate. I wanted to find some answers, and I went looking, and what I found really, truly helped me. And now it's different. It's so different. It's so much better. My mornings are easier, and I feel like I'm in control. I am truly in control of how I feel, and my kids are not. So that has helped me so much. And so that's why I want to tell you how I do it, and maybe if you guys want to do it too, you can do it. And that's why I'm here. I want to help and serve. And so the way I do it is I ask myself 2 questions. You might have heard them in our session once. And those questions are, what am I thinking? I'm going to write them down. And so we can kind of keep them in mind. So what am I thinking when you're frustrated and you're thinking the kids are driving me nuts or something? Then that would be the first step you take. The second one would be, you ask yourself, why am I choosing to think that? Okay? So, and the reason why we do this is because what I've discovered is the kids are not causing my frustration, but what I'm thinking about the kids is causing all of it, right? And so, it's really hard for us to see that sometimes in the moment, right? Well, he's obviously not getting dressed, right? So I'm frustrated because he's not getting dressed, right? But the true power came when I felt like this is it. I am thinking that he should be getting dressed, and that thought on its own is causing me all of my frustration. Okay? So then obviously I ask myself, why would I choose to think this if it's causing me so much pain?
Because you don't want him naked?
No, like getting dressed for school. That's a good point. But if little boys, they run around naked all the time, right?
I know.
Around our house. Well, I can fight him on that, right? But again, I'll be frustrated.
I liked your example with Tyler. So you were saying he was sensitive.
Yes.
When you were referring to this with his personality and who he is.
Yeah.
You were getting frustrated.
Yeah. And it wasn't helping me to think, why is he this way, right? He should be different.
Right.
So it helped me so much. And so then if we know that our thoughts, what we're thinking, if we can imagine, right? Let's say it's possible, they're causing all of our feelings. Then we ask ourselves, okay, what are thoughts? And I want to suggest that thoughts are simply sentences in our brain. Okay? We're just thinking these sentences. And the good news about it is that sentences are completely optional. We can choose any sentence to think. Right? Okay? Let's stay with me here. So, if thoughts are sentences, we can choose any sentence we want to think. Then we have the ultimate control to control what we're feeling. Okay, so maybe I'll write it down. So I'm just writing them down because some people are better visually, right? Thoughts and feelings, okay? Not kids. Okay. So if they thoughts are sentences, then what I would like to do with you guys now is do a little exercise and pretend that thoughts or sentences are clothes. So when we go to the store and we need to buy some clothes, we go in, we pick some clothes out, we take them to the change room, and we try them on. We see, okay, does the size fit? Does the color look good on me? Do I feel good in this? And if you feel good in this, if you feel great, then you actually go and buy it, and you choose to wear it on purpose, right? So, what I teach is that we do the same thing with our thoughts. If we can choose any thoughts we want, we can try them on, see how they feel for us, and then decide, do I want to keep thinking this thought, or do I not want to buy this item and leave? Okay? Make sense? Mm-hmm. So we're gonna play this fun game. We'll pretend that this is our brain, and our brain is very good at offering us a bunch of thoughts, right? We're always thinking them, and not often is it offering us good things, like. So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna try them on. So one of you will pick them out, and you're gonna try it on. So the way you try it on is just say it out loud, and you see how it feels for you. And then we're gonna see how that works, okay?
I hate the cold.
Okay. Do you actually hate the cold?
No, I love it.
No, you love the cold. Okay.
I like winter, so.
You like winter. Okay, so this will be so interesting for you to, can you imagine actually hating the cold? Like-
Well, when it's minus 35, I don't like it, but I wouldn't say I hate
Yeah.
it. I just choose not to go outside.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah.
So if you thought every day, all winter, I actually hate it, like you were just thinking it, right?
Mm-hmm.
How would that make you feel if you believed it?
I'd probably have anxiety living in Calgary.
Right?
You talk to mom.
we have somebody who's not a big fan of cold. Yeah, but that's so great that you don't hate the cold living in Calgary.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Can you see that it's a thought, or do you think it's something that a person just does or does not?
what do you mean? Do you mean like, because I feel like in winter everyone is complaining about the weather and
True.
how cold it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I think
But you don't.
I don't. So I don't really.
I don't either.
Yeah, I don't really think
Uh-huh.
too much about it.
Mm-hmm.
Did I answer the question?
Are you asking if that's like a choice?
So yeah, can you see that that could be an optional thought
Mm-hmm.
that people?
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. Good.
Absolutely.
Do you guys see that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're starting out easy, right? Okay. Here, you pick one.
Sometimes I feel like I'm failing as a parent.
Okay. It's a loaded one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can you see that as just an optional thought, or do you think it's something that is true?
I can see that's optional.
Yeah. Okay. And so when you tried on, like you said it out loud, how did you feel? How do you feel thinking it?
I think in the moments when you're actually thinking about it, you don't feel good.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though it's completely optional, right? Like sometimes we don't think it. Sometimes when we're having a horrible day, it might cross our mind, right? Yeah. So, interesting, right? We're only getting, yeah, do you want to go next? I don't know why I shook them.
I'm going on vacation tomorrow. Thursday, actually.
See,
Yeah.
even the way you said it, right? You're just so excited, even though you're not going. Are you going?
Yeah, I am
You're going Thursday, yeah, but not tomorrow. But not tomorrow, right? Yeah.
Thursday.
No, I think you're almost tomorrow, aren't you?
Yeah, so there you go.
Do that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Saturday.
So when you said that, you felt, how did you feel?
Excited.
Excited. Yeah.
And then I thought about the fact that we're flying on a MAX 8. And then I was like, I'm not excited anymore, it's grounded.
Right, right.
And then we're gonna go on holiday. But
I know what you mean, yeah, totally. This is a positive
Right, something that,
thing
yeah.
to say, it has positive connotation, vacations are seen as good,
If you make it mean something positive,
that's true.
unless you're flying on a Max 8.
Yeah, exactly, and I'm like, oh no, I'm going on vacation.
Right?
Yeah.
And a minute ago, you weren't thinking that at all, and you weren't feeling anything. Like, you were just feeling different things, right?
Yeah.
You were just like. So that is what I want to show you guys, right? When we switch a thought, then we create that feeling instantly, even just.
I know, but it's switching
Saying
that
it.
thought
But
sometimes.
it's the action that caused the thought. Right.
Not
Like-
that the circumstance causes your thought. So whatever is happening externally, or you mean something causes a thought, yeah. But it doesn't necessarily. You don't have to pick that thought, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have a choice, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But sometimes we have trouble, right, picking a different thought because cancer is obviously bad, right? I mean, Max 8s are not safe, so, right? So, we'll get to the real life soon, but this is kind of just a little warm-up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Absolutely, yeah.
so do we want to do more? Should we do one more? Andrea, you want to do, let's do Andrea. Oh, Andrea. Can't forget
Cold.
about Andrea.
I can't believe he said that.
Right, do you sometimes think that?
Probably, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like if
Now when
someone
I
says
think of the
something.
situation, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And how does that feel?
Mad, frustrated.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is even hypothetical, right?
But immediately, like, a situation came to
Kind of
my
came
mind.
up
Yes.
that when that happened, right? Yeah. Okay. You guys have any objections to this?
No. No,
Not
I
yet.
just don't. No, I don't.
You curious what else is out
Let's
there?
see, let's see.
Try a different piece of cloth.
I'm afraid they'll think I'm stupid.
Okay, so let's try this exercise with these thoughts, okay? Okay, so what are you thinking? Huh?
I'm afraid they think I'm stupid.
Is that what it said?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm afraid they'll
I'm
think
afraid
I'm
they'll
stupid.
think I'm stupid.
That was one of my thoughts that came to my head when I
Yeah.
was preparing for this.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. No.
So how does that feel?
I'm trying to think of a situation where, yeah, I think you'd feel insecure, and nervous, little anxiety.
Yeah. Do you feel that now, or you can kind of
No.
no?
Life is good.
No.
Good. Okay.
Yeah. No.
Because you're not really buying that thought. You're like, no, thank you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. This
Yeah.
is nonsense. Why are you giving me to tell you?
Yeah, good point.
Where's some good thoughts, right?
Right.
Okay, you want to do?
But
maybe
isn't
you'll-
it like personality though that like, for me, I often like I just don't care about stuff like that. Like I don't often care what other people think.
Yeah.
So I never think about that.
Okay, that's
Like, some of them are choices, but some of them are just like kind of who you are. No?
that's interesting.
Like,
Are they though?
I don't know.
Or is it something that you're very used to thinking?
Probably, yeah.
Right?
Like change. That's what I'm saying. Like changing that, whatever that is.
Yeah, and
No.
whatever that is always. So what's a belief?
Like a belief would be
Give me.
something.
Like you just said, I don't worry about what people think, right?
Yeah, I just I
So
don't
that's
know.
one of
From
your-
as far back as I can
Yeah.
remember, I've never really. It didn't affect like what people's words. They didn't really affect.
Didn't affect you.
I mean, not all the time.
Yeah,
but I
yeah,
think
but
for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I want
I
to
don't know
offer is
what that
that
is, though.
what you're thinking, what your belief is one thought.
Yeah.
But that's such a powerful thought that it has really spread through all of your life, that has given you the feeling of unstoppable, right? You're not affected. You're strong. You know.
Positive.
What would that feel like, right, for you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you said belief systems, they're like optimism and pessimism, right? Whereas you will always need an optimism and pessimism, and they are two thought process and belief systems. When you talk about like
Yes.
belief systems, right?
Yeah.
Which is interesting because some of these are things that the pessimists would say, and other things the optimists would say, right? Just
Yeah,
depending on how you are.
Yeah. So, but we would
Yeah.
just what we usually do, right? We say, "Oh, I'm a pessimist," and you just you just, okay, that's the way it is, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is question it. Why would I choose to think this? I've
Question
cho-
it. But how
Like-
you change it.
that's a whole other story, right? First, once we truly realize
Yeah.
that we are creating our feelings,
Right.
not the way we're born, not what people say, not the kids, not the job, because we often give that power away, right? Like, well, it's just the way things are, you know. I'm just telling you how things are, right? So, question, okay? So, we're gonna, did you get one?
I did.
Okay, so what are you thinking?
Nothing is working.
Nothing is working. Okay, why are you choosing to think that? Right? How does that feel when you said that?
Well, if I was in a position where I said that,
Yeah,
oh, I'm guessing I'm having a terrible day.
terrible, you feel terrible, right? Yeah. So what you can do in that position is ask yourself, why am I choosing to think that? And what would your answer be? Let's play it out. What do you think?
So when you ask like, why am I choosing to think that? I would go back and be like, well, X, Y, and Z happened. That's why I'm choosing to think that. But I have had days like that, and you have to think like, well, what went well, right? At
There
some
you go.
point.
You're making that
Yeah.
choice. Okay, I can keep on thinking this, or
Yeah,
I can
you
just
have
look
to
at
draw
things
a
that.
line and
I
do
can-
that the
yeah.
next time.
Or instead of even looking at things that went well, you can look at these things and decide, are they bad or are they not bad? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can even go a step further. You can ask yourself, are they really bad? Is it really true? And really question your thought, things are bad. Because that's also a thought, right? So then you question everything basically, but truly you're getting to the point of, this is what I'm thinking, and it's creating my feeling of horrible. What do you think? Have I lost everyone?
No.
Are you saying like, I mean, when they're bad, I think I would be feeling bad because they were bad things, but do you mean to kind of reassess and think, is it important? Like, should I be focusing this much energy on it?
Is it really bad though? You can ask yourself, are they really bad? If anyone else in the world came into the room, would they agree with you? Are they bad? Would the opinion be universal? You know what I mean?
Or is
Right?
it just you being frustrated?
Or is it just your opinion that they're bad?
Yeah, it's just something that I should let go. Is that?
Let go of the thought they're bad.
But what if they are bad? Like,
Yeah, like that's. I usually get upset over
Okay.
things that aren't great.
But who decides if they're bad or good?
teachers, principals. You get
But-
phone calls.
Great. Yeah.
But I know they're just thoughts, but they're also actions. Like they're doing
Yes.
things
Yes.
for you to think these.
Okay. Let's do an example.
Right?
Yeah, there's
I'm really tempted to do an example.
Well,
Let's do a real
so say
example.
Wyatt all week has gotten a little write up in his notebook that he's not listening, not behaving, disrupting in like cafeteria. So he's choosing to act this way, and we've
Mhm.
had discussions every night.
Mhm.
Nothing is working. Like I've tried to be
Nothing is
nice,
working.
I've tried to talk it through, I've tried to discipline, I've tried to take things away, tried to threaten Florida, which is so like false.
Because
Okay,
you're
'cause
going.
we're still
That's a good
going.
Yeah.
But it was like my last resort, and like
How's it?
nothing. I was just on the
nothing
phone with my
worked.
sister. Nothing.
So
He's still doing it.
Trying to change him.
Well, you can't change him too much.
You can't change him at all, right?
Well, but I'd at least like to feel that I could parent and do something to help him make better choices. But nothing's working.
Because you want him to behave differently, right?
Well, yeah, I think yeah.
Okay. So why do you want him to behave differently?
So I don't get phone calls from the school every
So you
day.
feel good.
Well, so he just is a good boy.
But
Follows
if
the
so, what
rules.
if?
There's rules in life? He's gotta follow
Yeah,
the
I'm
rules.
with you, right? You guys are.
No, I understand. I understand.
Right? But yes, I get what you're saying. Like,
Okay. So what's your when the teacher sends you the note?
Yeah.
What do you think about that note?
well, whatever I did yesterday didn't work, so what can I do now to help guide him in the
Okay.
right direction?
Okay.
Is what?
So what I did yesterday didn't work. How does that feel when you think 100%.
irritated.
Yeah.
I'm like
Okay.
giving up.
So, I hear you. I hear it. It's really painful, right? Because
Yeah.
we can't change him at all.
No, and that's what I ended up saying tonight is like with my husband, I was like, you can't, I know there's no changing him, like he is inside, he is who he is,
Mm-hmm.
but we need to guide him in the right direction. So how do we do that? So I called my sister, who's a teacher, on the way here.
Mm-hmm.
She gave me ideas. She has a 7-year-old son and is going through the same thing, so we were
Okay.
bouncing ideas.
Okay.
But
So, the reason, yeah, so I understand what you're going through because I've tried changing my kids
but you can't.
a lot, and we can't. So we end up feeling frustrated and upset, and then the teacher sends us a note, right? So what I want to ask you is, why are you choosing to think that he should change the behavior? And
Well, maybe I'm old school, but like there's just there's a time and a place to do what he's doing. He's not.
Yeah.
He's not listening.
Yeah.
So he just like he needs to listen at a certain time, and then like certain times go play and have fun and be wild outside at recess.
Yeah.
So that's the struggle.
So
I
that's
don't want to
logical.
change him because
So
I
that's-
love
Yeah.
who he is and how he is,
Yeah.
but he just needs to get it.
So I'm not saying that we don't discipline them, right, and we don't
Yeah.
put in consequences. What I'm trying to say is, imagine a world where he didn't, the teacher and him really didn't affect how you feel. You could one day, like tomorrow, get a note, and you could decide to think, well, of course he's doing this. Of course she's sending me the note. What else is new, right? And that would at least feel a little bit better.
Make
What
me
do you think?
feel better.
It would make you feel better. Yeah.
Right.
It doesn't still mean that you don't still talk to him, but then you would talk to him from a different place. You would then not be as frustrated. Can you see what I'm?
I can
Like a
see
little-
it.
like a
I
little
just don't
stretch,
know if I
right?
can do it.
Okay, so let's say we.
The problem would still be there. Like,
If you think there's a problem, right? Like, I've done that so much with my kids. Should they be screaming? I mean, like,
So you let them scream?
Depends.
Okay.
I mean, so
You're like, oh, it doesn't bother me.
No, but you know
I
what
love
I've-
it.
but you know
I
what
love
I've decided?
screaming, like,
I've decided that they should scream.
Yeah.
But if they do scream, this is what I do. Please go outside.
okay.
But I'm not like being beyond myself, right? I'm beside myself.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Or even the step that really helps me when I am super frustrated, right? Is saying, I'm frustrated with this, and it's okay. You know?
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's a beginning, and then from that you can start to look for answers, but from a more peaceful place, you know? Where the whole thinking about this shouldn't be happening. He should be listening, he should be behaving properly, but we all know kids don't do that all the time, right? And in fact, there's many kids in school who don't listen, right?
Mhm.
What are you thinking?
I'm just trying to think about
So I see,
How peaceful you
so I
gonna
guess
be?
you're saying is she could take on sort of be thinking, okay, yeah, he's gonna do that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna talk to him about it,
yeah.
and I'm just gonna move forward, and he probably will do it for the next while. I'm gonna accept that he'll do it. I'm gonna keep talking to him
Yes.
about it.
Yeah.
I will handle it the way I will. However, I'm not gonna let it bother me day in, day night thinking about it, because me thinking about it doesn't change anything. But I will still continue my discipline of him and talking to him about it, but I'm not gonna let it affect me
Yeah. In it that
and
way.
getting upset and
Yeah.
frustrated and going to sleep and thinking about it. So it's like, no, don't think about it, because it will work out.
But
It will work out
yeah.
well, and
Yeah.
I'll continue on my path.
yes.
And then when he's 12, he won't be acting
Yeah.
out. Like,
Yeah.
he'll get it.
5 more years.
So in a way, right? You could. That's
Is that
that's
kind of what you
that's
mean?
exactly what I'm saying. Is you
Like-
basically would change the way you think about it,
Like,
right?
you're not avoiding the situation, you're not
No.
disciplining, you're not
Yeah.
still talking,
Yeah.
but you're saying, instead of being, I'm so frustrated, it's like, yeah, you know what, he's a boy, he is going to do this, and
Yeah.
I accept that that's just the way he is, I gotta talk to him about it, and then hopefully moving on, he'll,
Mhm.
I don't know,
Well,
is
your
that kind of
parenting is
it?
gonna help. At
Is that
some
kind
point,
of what
right?
you
It's gonna
mean?
kick in.
Mhm.
Is that kind of
Yes,
how you're
yes.
thinking, okay, how
So
to do
that,
it,
yeah.
how to work out?
Yeah, and I'm not suggesting you love the situation,
Right.
right? Because that wouldn't be helpful either. You'd be like, why are you bothering me with this teacher, right? Right? And, yeah. So,
Maybe that's a hard example to start with.
that is
I
a
think
very
that's a very
hard
hard
one.
one.
That's
But
a
I
hard
think you
one.
get it. You totally got it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the way what you said it's not gonna bother me is because you will change how you think about it, right?
Mhm.
So the situation will still be going on, but your experience of it can change dramatically,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Get in control of that.
Yeah. Instead of fighting the reality, this shouldn't be happening. Oh, he did it again. He shouldn't have done it today because I was working so hard on it yesterday, right? It's, yeah.
You know, it's interesting because I had a kind of a little example, maybe you tell me if I'm hitting it or not, but Ayana daydreams in class, and so it was mentioned maybe it's ADD, and so I said to Amin, I'm like, you might have ADD, and he's like, what? And automatically it was like, oh, really? That? Oh, well, is she gonna be like Jonas, like her cousin, and like your brother? And like this negativity, and I said, they're wonderful people. I said, really? I said, I have no problem if she has ADD. I said, I don't mind, it's not horrible, it's not some defect. I said, she's a beautiful person, and we'll just work with it.
Mhm.
We'll show her, abilities to cope better if she even
Yeah.
has it. But I know what you mean, so there's two examples
So-
of one thought process, and then the other thought process. Is for me, I'm not letting it bother me, I
Yeah.
don't mind if I'm not like, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
like, I'm just like, okay, you know what?
Yeah, that's
If
a
she has
perfect
it, fine,
example.
we'll carry on. And her teacher was actually really helpful, because she said to me, I said, well, what if she did have ADD? And she said, nothing.
Can work around.
I said, what do you mean nothing? She goes, no, you just carry on as normal. I said, really? And I said, well, what do you do? And she's like, nothing. I just know which kids to go and stand behind, which ones to kind of
Okay.
put them in focus more. And she said, there's really nothing different I'd be doing. And I was like,
Mhm.
oh, okay. So that was a thought. Instead of going, well, testing and this and that and
Totally.
schools, it was just this,
Totally.
carry on.
That's a great
And
example.
so I went and I was like, oh, carry on. I mean, I don't think she does, but if she did, I was just like, okay, well,
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, no, instead of thinking it's not a good thing, it is a good thing, because she is a beautiful person.
You stepped
but she
into
has
it. You're
wrong.
like, okay, what if it is fine? I can deal
Good.
with it.
Let's move forward.
That's
And
what-
maybe that's also showing how it can be contagious. Like, she didn't make a big deal of it. She was like, yeah.
you're right.
And then you left being like, oh,
Oh,
okay.
Because you saw how, okay, if
So
I
it's-
think this way,
Yeah.
that's easy, great, and I can, yeah.
I felt it was kind of like, she has blonde hair, she has like brunette hair.
Mhm.
She has
Yeah.
ADD, she does not. Like,
Yeah.
that's how I was kind of like,
Yeah.
okay, so there's my new thought process. She's
Yeah.
blonde, she's brunette, she has it.
Yeah.
She's ADD.
It's perfect, yeah.
She doesn't have it.
Yeah.
I don't know
She's
yet, I don't
great.
know, but she's just,
Yeah.
she's 7.
Mhm.
Like our kids are 7. They do these things.
Totally.
Mhm.
They
Yeah.
do things.
Thank you for the example. That's exactly
Okay,
perfect.
Yeah.
kind of,
There's what can be one thing happening, and the two of you had totally different
Yeah.
opinion about it.
yeah. And it actually made me feel better to be like, yeah, that's what you mean, like to choose
So,
to
yeah.
have that.
So if you were in that situation, you
Oh.
could ask yourself, what am I thinking? Oh my God, they're gonna turn out like these people.
Who are wonderful people
Then,
still.
yeah, but you forget, right? Right away you have this thought, that's gonna turn out horribly.
Yeah.
Then you can ask yourself, why am I choosing to think that? Because everything is a thought. And all thoughts will create all of our feelings. So I'm just gonna indulge a little bit. I'm gonna tell you that then we have circumstances. And then we have thoughts about the circumstances.
Mhm.
So a lot of times we think that the circumstances cause our feelings. But that's not true, ever. That messes us up. Because then we try to fix the circumstances so we can feel better. That's what changed my whole life. Even if I have a bad day, or something happens and I am so in a rotten place, I don't give the credit you know, in the moment I do, I'm like, oh no, this happened, I feel terrible. He said this, how can you say that? After a while, I take myself out of the rut and I remember that this can never make me feel this way. Because I can have a different thought about it. Like, Amin had a different thought and you had a different thought, right? Okay?
Can you give an example of that? Kids screaming in the morning again.
Kids screaming in the morning, right? I used to, that would
That's the
determine my
circumstance.
day. If I yelled at them in the morning, I would beat myself up all day, feel guilty all day, feel shame all day, wall on self-pity. It would affect everything I do all day, every day. And they were in charge of that if they didn't listen. And as soon as I realized that I'm thinking they shouldn't do this one thought, they shouldn't do this, created all of my struggling. So now I say all the time to myself, they should totally be doing this. They're boys. They're little boys. They should totally be doing all of this. So I just lean into it. I'm like, okay, you cannot do this. Go there, go here, right? I still parent them, but I'm not yelling.
So what do you do with them?
When-
You still let them scream?
No, I tell
Just-
them you need to go outside. If you scream one more time, you go
That you
outside.
don't,
If you know,
Get worked
timeouts, yeah.
It doesn't
a lot.
bother you.
But it doesn't drive her crazy, exactly.
Yeah,
It doesn't
because
force
I
her
have a
to
plan of
scream.
action, yeah. And I remind myself, they're gonna scream. It's fine, they're leaving for school at 8. I can handle 2 hours of sometimes them screaming and I know what to do. You know? And they scream less because it's a lot more peaceful when I'm not yelling, right? So then then the circumstance magically changes because you create a new world for yourself where you're finding the evidence for that new belief. You know?
So what would you do for Natalie's situation? Like, I'm trying to think about how do how does she move forward from that?
Yeah,
How does she
so-
think? Because she's obviously very worried and then the circumstance is creating that.
Yeah.
So how would she
So
do that?
for situations that feel really painful, right? I would not suggest you move forward anywhere right now. Is you just acknowledge what you're feeling. Like, do you feel shame or disappointment or anxiety or like a bunch of stuff?
things.
A
yeah.
bunch of things.
Yeah, just,
That is really hard to acknowledge, right? And I suggest, like, what I do with myself is that we lean into it. Like, we announce it to ourselves, okay, fine, I admit I'm super ashamed this is happening. And why? What am I thinking? What am I thinking that's creating this feeling? That's creating this feeling, okay? And then you find that thought. You want to tell us the thought, or
well, what would be one of them?
like if you were to write a book about what's happening with
Yeah.
Wyatt at school, what would you name the book? One title.
What would I name the book of Wyatt?
Or what's your opinion about what's happened with him?
He beats, like,
Why is
he's
being a
just
boy?
on his own program. Yeah.
That's pretty amazing though, that's pretty good that he beats to his own drum. That's
He does, and I
pretty
said
good.
it's such a good quality, he's gonna be okay, I know he is.
So what do you think
But
about
my
him?
thoughts, well, I'm just thinking about this one, that's like, what? The one is that I hate that it's my kid, that like every teacher probably sees and is like,
Okay, so did it
Change your
shut
thought
down?
on that one.
well, I just can only imagine. And so that was one of the things that I said to Rob today. I was like, I just hate that it's my
Yeah.
kid. Like, my kid's that kid.
Feel this.
So I forgot to warn you
My
that it's
kid's a
gonna.
daydreamer, like,
Actually, I was told that too. I'm
we have
not-
the same teacher.
Yes, we do.
I appreciate you bringing it up and opening it
Yeah.
because I forgot to tell you guys it might be uncomfortable today.
Oh, okay.
But okay, so can you see? I hate that it's my kid. Can you see that that's a thought? But it feels like it's. I mean,
feels
it's the
like a
truth.
feeling.
You're seeing the evidence, right? It's my kid who
Yeah.
I'm.
That
Both.
teacher should be like happy and excited to have him in their class. Like, you should say that, like, like, no, actually, that teacher should be happy
But
because
then-
he's bright and he's
She doesn't
intelligent.
make me feel like that though. Like she's been very good about it all, and every time at the end she's like, "Tomorrow's a new day. It's gonna be a good day."
Yeah.
She's very positive and very nice, but I
But
am
you
like,
override everything she says with this one.
yeah.
I want to suggest, so if you were to name a feeling when you think this with one word, what?
A feeling is he sad?
Sad. Okay. So just acknowledging and claiming it and like you're resisting it, right? Let me change it so I stop feeling it.
Mm-hmm.
And then what do you think about you feeling sad? You don't want to feel sad, right?
No,
Yeah.
yeah.
And you don't want this to be happening.
No, I don't want it to be
Yeah.
happening at all.
Yeah.
But
So there's great news and bad news. Bad news and great news. Bad news is that we have no control over what's happening with Wyatt or the teacher. We can try to, right? We can ask Wyatt. And it might even work. But it might not work all the time or
Mhm.
forever, or it's like there's no guarantee, right? But what we have full control over is this.
so that kind of hits home to me. So, because I feel like I guess I would try and like control it, the circumstances.
Yeah.
But we can't all the time. We can
And
try
you-
and fix things, we can try and do things, but
It doesn't work, we've tried it all, right? Yeah. And that creates more frustration on top of what's already happening.
She felt like
But
nothing
instead
was
of
working.
it doesn't work, can't you think like, you know,
Like you
it'll work
could try.
someday, or you start as you need to go on and they get it one day, right? Like we've seen that just through their whole lives, is
like,
Exactly.
they couldn't do it one way,
Yeah.
they can some other day.
Exactly.
And it's not
So
gonna
you'll
happen
get
overnight.
there, right?
yeah.
Maybe by June.
But honestly,
Seriously, that, give him the time.
Yeah.
but by
He's
June,
feeling
right?
like- Because he's filling out his own personality, right?
Yeah.
Like he's testing personality and testing things,
So,
right?
yeah, so we have a tendency to, when we feel bad, we want to rush out of that bad feeling, right? As fast as we can. By changing the circumstances, and even logically, we're trying to convince ourselves, it's fine, it's not so bad. But it doesn't work, right? Because we're just trying to convince ourselves that this is fine, even though it's bad. You know what I mean? So, the logical part of us we'll try that, but it won't really stick because we'll have this super strong belief that it will override that. And even though we can believe the logical things in the moment, we'll stop thinking them, we'll stop convincing ourselves, and then we'll go back to the default. So that's why it's so important to get the dirt out. There's something that's so painful, which we never want to do, ever, because it's so painful. We're like, shove it down. And so, but the true improvement can happen from kind of claiming it. Yes, this is happening to my kid, and this is going to work out. This is what we're doing, and there's no shame in that, you know? But don't rush into feeling better, because when we rush to feel better, we often kind of try to, we skip that part. And okay, I'm getting too advanced, like even for for people. Okay, any other thoughts? Do you feel like you have any other objections to this?
No, I think I get it. Like I need to change how I'm thinking about the situation or circumstance.
Yeah,
We'll all feel better.
yeah.
I like that learning. I can't
Mhm.
change the circumstance.
Yeah.
But sometimes though, we're so fooled because sometimes we can't change it, or we seem to have changed it.
Well, I don't think you have to ignore it, right? Like
No,
you
we don't
have to
ignore it.
work on it and do your best, but
Yeah.
in order not to feel the anxiety or sad or whatever, you have to change your thought process. So positive, like you said, optimism,
Yeah.
versus pessimism.
So can you see how you're creating that? Yeah.
Which I don't think I would have blamed it all on Wyatt.
Right. Yeah.
But they're like I'm
Yeah.
controlling, yeah.
So let's just play it out. Say everything works out with Wyatt, and then a year later, Tommy you have this with Tommy, your thinking could be, "Psh, no problem, I got this, bring it on, this is no big deal, we've dealt with it twice." You're like, this is a joke.
Yeah.
You teach you I'm not worried at all, right? And the only thing that would change is just your thinking, right? So, okay. Do you have an example from real life to challenge me with that do you think this wouldn't work on?
Well, I finally understood something that I didn't understand before. Like,
Okay.
you're not telling her to say,
No.
my kid's gonna act the way he acts, you deal with it. You're saying, we're still gonna do the same things, but just, how you feel about it.
Yeah.
So I did, last time I would say I did make that connection, because, I did feel like it was sort of like putting a plaster on the band-aid and just say, well, like, I'll be happy that you're screaming, right? Then we're fine. And
Okay.
it's like, I can't make that connection,
No,
like,
I
I don't feel happy that you're doing this. Because we talked a lot about getting the kids in the
morning.
car at the morning,
Mhm.
right? And it just,
Yeah.
they all go in different directions.
That's an important piece to get that I
It's not-
probably missed last time, yeah.
You're not finding a solution to that, because that's still gonna happen. You just have to not.
In that moment,
Or,
you're not
or
finding the solution
preparation,
in the moment.
And then you head into it, not with lower expectations, but just saying like,
You're prepared.
we should be able to leave the house in 5 minutes, let's give ourselves 20. And
Yeah.
yeah, preparation helps
you're
me
prepared.
part of it.
And you're not surprised every time they're not ready.
Or you
right?
know it's coming, so you
Yeah.
don't have,
You're ready.
prepared for
You're not
it.
surprised.
Realistic.
It's like when the
Yes,
in-laws come,
exactly.
right? Yeah.
Because when you're expecting it to go well and it doesn't, that's hard to do.
Yes, yeah.
Especially certain personality types, right? Like, I think everyone's sort of different in how they deal day to day.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
like, some people like more control, some people don't. Some
Mhm.
But my example is like 5 o'clock I start cooking, kind of, yeah. And of course that's when the kids come from school, right? And they want to do homework, they want me to play with them, they want to help in the kitchen, and I'm like trying to rush in the kitchen to get the dinner ready. And before I was kind of like, you can see it on me,
Tense,
like
yeah.
tense, right? Because like, please don't stay here, like don't put your fingers here, don't try this, like I don't know what you want to, so
Yeah.
tense, right? And then of course like working with Natalia, I was like, over time I get to the point when it's like, they will always do it, right? Because of course I will not tell them. I'll tell them don't touch the hot pot, of course, right? But they will always do it. They will always be around me. But like just me, like changing the thinking. It's like it's actually okay that they're around me. Like I expect that they will do it, and I don't get like tense anymore. Like that they're around me all the time. They want something from me. Does that make
Same
sense?
situation.
Same situation.
But you're inside.
Exactly. And I still have to tell them, don't touch the pot, it's hot, right? But before it would be like, don't go there because the pot is hot, it's gonna burn you. But now it's like,
You're driving me crazy.
yeah, exactly. I'm thinking they're here, like this might happen, and I just tell them like from different position, from different,
Mhm.
makes sense? What I'm
Yeah.
trying to say?
And one day you'll miss it.
One day I'll miss it,
You
of
don't
course,
let them
yeah.
work you up as much.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
Or you don't work yourself that much.
I don't work
Yeah,
myself,
you're right.
not
I
them.
said it wrong, right.
'Cause they're
You
doing
work
still the
yourself
same,
up.
right?
That's right.
And that's a crazy part. You're like, oh my god, can you believe I just did that to myself?
Yeah.
Like I had an
I said,
episode.
I can't believe they did that
Yeah,
to me.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. Do you have any examples you want to tackle?
I gave my examples.
Yeah. Do you
with
want?
the-
And do you have any more? You're good.
Oh, I'm sitting here forever, sure.
What's how we're doing on time?
It's 10 to 7.
Okay, we do 10 more minutes. Yeah? Sure. Does anyone want to? Something painful, something uncomfortable, so fun.
Well, I think I would want to know more about how to change your thinking. Like in circumstances,
Okay.
like how did you, I know you said you just did, but if you've been thinking one way for so long,
Okay.
how do you like work on that?
So first you have to find out where you're thinking.
Yeah.
And the one way of doing that is you can vent to somebody. Like if you vent to me, I'm like, coach, I'm trying to like pick up the one recurring thought that is causing you all of the pain.
Right.
And this could be the one, right? The other way you could do on your own is start writing down, it's called a thought download, and you can start writing for 5 minutes straight without lifting your pen, everything you think about the situation, and it doesn't have to make sense to you, it's not like a diary, it's kind of like cleaning out the fridge or under the couch, you're getting all the dirt out.
Right.
What's wrong with this, why is this painful, how this should be, what's the problem, get it all out on paper, and then you see it. And all you're seeing is, These are just sentences I keep thinking. So it's easier for you to work on it when it's on paper than whether it's in your brain. Once you see it, you see, okay, well, these are just, is this really true? Do I have to believe this? And then you can pick that one thought, okay? So we always kind of narrow down onto one thing. So yours could be, the circumstance would be super neutral. The teacher sends a note, right? Teacher's note. So everyone in the room would agree that you have a note from the teacher. And it's not bad or good when it's a circumstance, because we have not yet attached the meaning to it. We make it good or bad with our thought. So the note from the teacher is completely neutral. You could decide it's great if you wanted to. You know, you could decide it's super funny.
It is because she's paying so much attention to him. Like she's really interested in him.
I'll give you there's good and bad about everything, because that's a good, right?
Yeah.
Like
she wants
lots of attention and everything like that, but
So you're good.
but I still can't make the connection between something that you don't like that's not okay for you and like just
And yeah, I'm not suggesting you make it great. You could, but I'm not.
okay.
You could pick whatever you want to think about it. You could think it's hilarious, you know? You could think, you're so disappointed, you know?
It's taking, I think what you're saying, what I'm getting is that you're taking a circumstance and you can't change the circumstance, so no matter what, you can't change this. So you're going to do what you're going to do with the circumstance, but you're going to feel better about doing it because you're going to have the different thoughts that make it so you don't personally, it's not inside conflicting or turmoil in here. So
Yes,
I
exactly.
kinda, yeah,
So
see it.
you took this to the next step, which feelings will always drive our actions. Only from the good feeling can you do something that is actually helping the situation, right? You said it exactly. And then from our actions, we have the result, okay? And the result might be you experience the situation peacefully, as opposed to turmoil and anxiety and you're resisting reality, you know? It's still gonna happen. But you can, it's like cancer diagnosis. You can deny that you have cancer the whole time and really like being in pain about it, or you can admit, accept, and move on, right? Like you can decide. It's just an extreme example to make you see how your experience of it would be different, right? Exactly what you're saying. So did that answer your question about how to start to feel better?
Yeah, I think that's good exercise. But yeah.
so you will still keep parenting him, of course,
Yeah.
but at least for yourself, you have the possibility to choose how you feel about it. That
And-
you're not failing, that you're not a bad parent, that it's
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
What sometimes really helps me a lot is I find this and I ask myself, is it really true? Is it 100% true? That it's
I think you're putting that on yourself.
I think so
Mhm.
too.
Yeah.
But
we all do always.
yeah. They look at me though and they're like,
Mm.
right? And see, you're
that's
just
who I
yeah.
am.
Mm.
No, I'm joking.
I know.
But
I mean, there's a layer of that too, right? That's creating a whole other
Yeah.
bouquet of emotions.
Yeah.
So
That's
No, I
when you
think
find
it's a
out
good
that Wyatt
approach.
tells them all about their weekend.
Oh,
My
yeah.
grade 2, my friend teaches grade 2, apparently teachers find out
How
what goes on in your
is it?
house.
oh my gosh, like
Yeah.
like that life coach, she really yells still, yeah.
Yeah.
But really, the sooner you can feel better, the sooner you realize that you're actually creating your own feeling, right?
And then you can probably approach the circumstance in a better
In a
way.
better
How
place.
can more a way that works, right? Instead of
Yeah.
yelling and being frustrated.
Yeah, like how can I think about this in a way that serves me and my son,
Mhm.
right? Like with ADD, right? Just do it. If it's this, it's fine, no problem. Right?
You could actually tell Wyatt, say Wyatt, if you feel you gotta do that, tell you what, you choose one thing that you get to act out on, and then you tell me what you did. And then it will erase all these actions. So if he's doing like 10 things,
Yeah.
say, Wyatt, I'm gonna give you secret permission that you can act out one one thing. And he'd be like, oh, Mom's got a mission, I get to act out, I'm gonna not wear shoes today. And that will be his choice, so maybe give him like a little mission. I don't know, like totally reverse it, so that now it's no longer about, you're doing this, this, and this, and this. Say, I know that your teachers have said you've done all this, but I'm gonna secretly tell you and your mom, one of them I'll let you do each day. As long as you don't do the rest, just try one, and then you tell me how that works. I don't know, it's totally reverse it's absolutely reverse psychology.
It's not working.
And he's gonna be like sitting there all, I'm like, damn it, one thing, and you say, you choose when to do it. Tell me, does he know how to tell time? Tell me what time, was it before recess or after? You choose throughout the day, and maybe it will just stop him from doing a bunch or whatever, and he'll just be like, Mom said I could, like, I don't know, throw something, I don't know. I just think, just something along that, I don't know, just a thought. So it's more positive by saying what he's doing.
So
what
people
he's
not in
doing.
situation, it's easier for us to come up with different thoughts you could think because we're out of it. So that's such an interesting point of view, right? You could have fun with
It's
it.
almost being positive with him.
Yeah.
That, and it's limiting some of it, and then as he's doing, he might be like, okay, I'm getting boring now, and just conform. Because he's conforming the rest of the time, but the one time. Because the one time he's allowed to.
Well, that's why I said with recess, I'm like, fun at recess, get your sillies out, yell, scream, roll around.
It's not the same. You're in a boring
So-
class.
So can we do this little exercise? Next time you get a note from the teacher, it's gonna happen.
Yeah?
Let's plan. You open it up, or is it in your notebook?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it says, what will it say?
Oh, if you want me to come up with a nice thought?
No. What will the note say? What will the note say? What will the note from the teacher say?
It'll say Wyatt was not using his active listening skills today.
Okay.
And
Okay.
we're gonna do better tomorrow.
So what, next time you get it, it's gonna say Wyatt was not using his active listening skills. What do you want to feel when you read it?
Mm.
You can choose that right now on purpose.
It doesn't make me happy to read that though.
That's okay. That's okay. It doesn't have to make you happy to read,
Right. So I have to think,
right?
wow.
We don't have to feel happy about it.
Rob's actually very good with this stuff because he'll be like, it's gonna be okay.
So
He's
that's
like,
his thought. He's
It's
gonna
gonna
be
be
okay,
fine.
right?
It's like I was 16 when or he said I was 14 when I changed, and that's like, oh god.
Okay, so you could try on Rob's thought. It's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
If you really, so, see the thing, you have to pick a thought in that moment that you actually really believe in, right? I'm not suggesting don't be happy about it.
Well, and then I was thinking also that like, hopefully I'll be laughing at this later. Like, do you remember? Like, keep this book and be like, let's go through this when he's
Oh, you're
15.
gonna keep the notes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
See, I love that, that's so
So
positive.
I
That's like a good
have thought that
Yeah.
to be like, we're gonna look back because there's a lot of little things that have happened, obviously with all of our kids, and I do look
Yeah.
back now and laugh, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh god, remember that? I remember how much I was like
Yeah.
so worked
Yeah.
up.
But this thing, you don't want to see this note in his notebook right now.
No, I don't.
You don't, because you worked so hard on it. You've talked to him so many times. You really don't want to see it there, right? This shouldn't be happening.
Mhm.
So tomorrow it's going to happen again. Let's
Mhm.
pretend. What do you want to feel when it's there?
I don't know.
You just don't want it there,
I
right?
just don't want it.
You
there.
just don't want it there.
That it's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. Like he's gonna be okay.
But it's not fine,
No,
right? Right now you're thinking it's not fine.
I don't know what I want to. I want to feel good about it. I
Do
want-
you really?
Yeah, like I can say to myself, it's gonna be fine. But
So here,
Deep down,
let me
I
offer
think
you
it's harder with our
something.
kids. I think it's harder to do this with kids. Wow, this is challenging.
I think if it's something that makes you, that you're not happy about, right? And then it's,
yeah,
like,
It's
to change the feeling, like,
Let me
I can't
offer you
change
some
the
different
feeling,
feelings,
but I
okay?
can, okay.
you can change actions, right? Like, I
Yeah,
guess.
I can change my thoughts. but
All
I still
actions will come
feel-
from the feeling that if we don't change this, then we're acting on this,
But
right?
if it's been bugging you, you can't just think, yeah, I got a note,
Yeah.
right? It's,
So right now you feel sad, right? When this happens, you
Mhm.
feel sad. So if we have a hard time getting anywhere away from this thought, you can just think, I am thinking, I hate that it's happening to my kid. I feel sad and it's okay.
Mhm.
It's okay that I'm sad.
It's okay, yeah.
Because you have to begin somewhere, right?
Because you are sad, right?
Because you
It's
are sad,
thinking.
because you think, I hate this happening to my kid, and you feel sad, and you're like, oh my god, what can I do? I need to change this, I need to talk to him again. And you're right away you're trying to change all this again, which doesn't work, right? It might work, it might not work, and you're in turmoil, you're dependent, your whole well-being at that moment, and that whole day and the next day, you're like hoping you're not gonna get a note. You're like putting all of that feeling. So what I'm saying is you can acknowledge that I'm thinking this, and it's making me sad, and it's okay. This is where I begin. It's okay. I feel sad, it's okay. And this is what I do myself. I just say it enough times that then I'm like, well, I don't even care anymore. Fine, I'm sad. Okay, let's move on. I'm not sad anymore. I've said it 10 times. I'm not sad anymore. Okay, what are we going to do now? I've kind of accepted the fact that I was sad. Now I'm not sad anymore. Do you see?
Yeah, I do
You
see.
see?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it'll be easier too when we go out and think about it over the next
Yes.
few weeks and
Yeah,
how
yeah,
we do
definitely.
it and
Well, this definitely
yeah.
needs a lot of
Yeah.
digestion for sure. It took me months, and it still, right, keeps on progressing. So,
No, it's a good thought process. Like
Okay.
it's a good process.
so yeah. So maybe this is a good wrap up. Is how to feel better. So one last thing I want to say is that I'm not suggesting we try to change our thoughts so we're happy all the time. Not at all. This will never happen, and I know for sure because I've done this work for a year, and I'm still 50% of the time I have horrible time. So what I'm saying is that it will always be 50% negative emotion, 50% positive. Always. We need the contrast to feel the good, right? But what this can do is eliminate unnecessary suffering that we're creating. You're getting the note, yeah, it's happening, but you're adding on top of it, right? You're like, this shouldn't happen, all this stuff, right? So we can just take it down to, okay, let's just deal with this without adding anymore.
Yeah.
So this is where can this be beneficial. And you can do this by asking yourself these two questions. And as soon as you ask yourself, why am I choosing to think it? You might realize, wait, I forgot I can choose. Why would I choose it again? Maybe not, you know? No rush to be happy about it, right? What are you thinking, Karen?
I think it may be like quite result driven. I don't know if there's different personality types for that,
Okay.
but
No,
What are you asking?
like I'm trying to just think about the note. So, and I really like that when we go back to that, like you're still gonna, work with your sister and the teacher and you come up with these great ideas, but inside, right, you think, well, I have a, yeah, I guess I don't like it when I feel like something's happening you don't like and it's kind of like, just feel good about it, right? Like,
No, you don't want it.
that's,
That's not,
you just
yeah,
don't want to
that's
bring
not what I'm
yourself
saying.
down with
That's
but
not
you
what I'm
shouldn't
saying.
have to accept things that make you unhappy. I guess that's like when I see that, then you make a plan and you go to change it, and it might be a super long-term plan, and I think having a plan for me makes me, because I kind of like to be in control and things like that, so it makes you more comfortable, right? Just
Yeah.
and then right when it happens with the second kid, it's not a big deal. Like,
Yeah.
oh, we're gonna have a year like that again. Okay, done.
Yeah.
And then
So
And then you
that's
move
great. We
on.
can make plans, and we can achieve a lot of things, right? We can manipulate other things, and we will think that we did that. But, great, but that just creates an illusion that we're actually in charge of this. Because we will get a diagnosis of cancer. We're not in charge of that, right?
no, but how do you accept that as a good thing?
I'm not saying you should do.
Okay, you just said acknowledge how you feel about it.
I'm not. You might never want to. For example,
Okay.
here's an example where you want to not feel good about it. When someone close to you dies, you want to feel pain, you want to feel grief, you want to feel loss. I'm not suggesting you feel good about it, but you recognize that you're feeling that because of your thoughts about it, not because of someone dying. And so when you say, I like to feel in control, I like to have a plan, that's great. But sometimes we have no control over what's happening out there, right? No control over other people at all. Most of the time. I mean, have you tried to control your husband, your kids, your mother-in-law? What success rate do we have, right? Do we have any?
But I think that
Success rate?
becomes the issue, because I do like to have, not full-on control, but I like to be organized and so when things don't go, so I'm understanding that those are thoughts that are creating these feelings, that's the way I've always been, like, that's the way I was born. I feel like it could, you know.
it's
So
interesting, right?
It's
Is
tricky
it
to wrap
really?
your head around that. Yes, okay, you don't have control over everything. I understand that, but
You can still work towards.
Yeah, you can.
yeah,
And you will.
But, like,
we all
in
do.
controlling my husband, like, I mean, what is he doing that I would want to? Like, that sounds like he's doing something bad.
Whatever it is, you know. And
It's like,
I'm
no, I
not
don't think you
suggesting.
can make someone do something they don't want to, right? But
Yeah. Like when people are gonna say stuff that we don't like, we can't control them. You know, like things will happen that we ultimately cannot change, right?
yes, I completely agree with that, right?
Yeah.
You can only
And
change how you act to it.
how you think about it, because you're, yeah,
Yes, yeah.
It was kind of like the power of positivity.
yeah. Not to the degree where we want to feel positive about everything, right? Because
Yeah.
that's, I think that we
Yeah.
have a problem with, like you think I'm suggesting, right? That it's, we want to feel happy about everything.
Yeah,
Even-
and I
even
feel like
though-
we're on the page like a lot, like the
Yeah.
same page a lot, and then I feel like
Oh,
sometimes
okay.
they'll say something like,
Yeah,
yeah, just like sort of accepting a situation that's not okay,
yeah.
like that's.
Yeah.
And sometimes you do have to, right? You think
Yeah.
like you look
Yeah.
down all the roads and you decide it's not worth the
Because
fight. and-
because it serves you, yeah.
I think it's more about stopping inner turmoil over circumstances. I don't know if it's so much
Yes.
changing the circumstance or
Yeah.
not feeling bad about it.
Yeah.
It's stopping the inner, if you are that type of person, some people will have, yeah, you may not be, like some people inside might have a lot of turmoil going on and self-talk and negativity inside because of a circumstance.
Mhm.
Whereas someone will have the same circumstance and they will have different thoughts
Yes,
about
I
it
think
and
you
feel
just
better.
sort of hit it on the head there, like.
That's what she's saying, it's more about your inner self-talk about a situation
Yeah.
and how you both deal with it the same way, but see, two people will have different feelings on it, like, one person will be in turmoil and one person will be okay with it, they're accepting of it,
Yeah, yeah.
like accepting of the circumstance.
Mhm.
So that they're not in this, or causing anxiety, like, this is really good for people with anxiety, I can see.
Yes, so.
And people with, I think, yeah, like maybe very negative people that constantly bring themselves down all the time because of circumstances. They have this inner talk of,
Yeah,
because there is a thing called, self-talk, and
Yes,
a lot of people
totally.
have self-talk.
totally, exactly.
And
And
people-
we don't even
and
know we're doing it.
And some
because
people
it's
are more
so
positive. You're probably
subconscious.
even more positive, and it sounds like Natalie is too, and I am too, so maybe we're just all positive, so it's harder for us, I don't know, but
I
for
think,
some people, they're
yeah.
not, and it is hard for them.
Well, because when I was younger, I was a lot more anxious. I think just as you get older, right, you just start to not care, right? Your kids are healthy,
That's the
right?
beauty of the
and-
30s and 40s. you know.
Exactly, right? Like, but yeah, I'm thinking sort of like, I guess driving when I was younger, and you make a boneheaded move, and someone like leans on the horn and is like shouting at you or whatever, and then you feel bad about that for so long after. Yeah, I think like that's.
That would help, right?
Yes, exactly. When you can't change the circumstances, you
Unnecessary-
can change how you
yeah.
think about it, and that's what happens now, right? You
Yes.
think we all make mistakes. Who
Yeah.
hasn't, right?
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah.
makes it to 30 without
Yeah.
ever making a mistake, and you.
So you totally got it. Unnecessary. Sometimes it's
Yeah.
totally unnecessary for you to feel bad.
Yes, when you can't change it, right? Then yeah, you have to nip it in the bud. and
Because
Yeah.
after we've tried
say, "Let's do
everything
better
to
next
change
time."
that and it doesn't
Well, I
work,
guess
okay,
it's-
fine, then
yes.
we'll.
But
Yeah.
you're hoping you can change, like your children, or when they.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think that just the more complex
Right,
situation,
but
right?
things you can't.
You've tried, because you've tried everything.
No control.
Now
yeah.
let's try this. That's what happened to me.
Yeah.
I was like, no, yeah.
I have,
So-
I have a friend who's a mom, and she has 3 boys, teenage boys. And she said to me, I've spent so much time worrying and thinking about how they're gonna turn out and what I can do and this, and she goes, now I just realized they're going to be who they're going to be. And she said, I have so much more peace when now I know that I guide, I help, but she said, I have to let them be them. And so, and that's kind of what
She
she
chose
eventually
one-
found
yeah.
out after 19 years, like.
And the one thought she chose is they're going to be who they're going to be, and that gave her peace, right?
But she still parents and does everything, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
now she's very accepting.
There you go.
Yeah.
So it's something that we don't have to be like, yes, Natalia, this is exactly right? We can like lean in, like stretch yourself into it. Like, maybe it's possible. So great. I have these just 2 questions in case you ever wonder, what were the 2 questions that she was talking about? I have them here, and you
I'll
can.
leave them out for my husband. Like, oh, what is
So-
this?
That and yeah, so this is the kind of the two things I want you to leave with, and practice, and then the thoughts create feelings, right? So,
Can
thank-
you teach this to your kids? Like, no, just actually out of curiosity.
totally,
Like, can you say,
Totally.
It's a good
can
thing.
you actually say to your kid, like,
totally.
cause Ayana comes to school and like, you know, she has little friends and she seems to constantly get hurt from them by things they say. So I can
But then
honestly,
she-
Yeah, so
yeah.
this would be perfect.
yeah, I'm just wondering if you
Yeah.
can start, like, say, what am I thinking that's causing this? And I'll say,
Yeah.
well, what are you thinking about it? Well, and then I'll say, well, why do you wanna choose that way?
Why are you
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting. I just wondered, can you do it with children?
Probably.
No, but
We do it with
like,
children,
You can
right?
just guide them, I think,
Yeah.
by questions and saying,
Or even you don't even have to do it with them. Sometimes you can be like, oh, okay, I kind of know what's happening, right? And you can do it with them. It's so fun, yeah. It's
just kind of.
and it gives
help-
you practice
Maybe
too.
helping her with some of her
Yeah.
situations that she's in, where
Totally.
she's finding.
Totally.
I think
And you
that's
can, and then you can plan for the next time. You can say, okay, say she says this. What, what do you want to think about it? Do you agree with her, or do you want to think, oh well, she's confused? That's the one I love a lot. When someone says something you don't like, instead of getting upset about it, you're like, well, they're just so confused.
You're stupid.
Well, that doesn't feel as great. You're like, oh, it's okay, you know.
Not if you're married to them, I guess.
Right? So yeah.
So
So
this is good, because it's then understanding feelings. I feel like
Yes.
Tommy's figuring out a lot of feelings, jealousy and things this year with friends.
Tommy.
Yeah, this would work. I don't know,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
he's a little young, but I think
You can just
Tuning
ask him
into
little
it,
questions
right?
and look at his little mind, think about that, and you don't have to correct, just you can
it's
think
good
Mhm.
there. I think it's
Yeah.
good.
Even moving forward in teenage years, like this,
Mhm.
this will go in my parenting
Yeah.
Bible. It's good.
So thank you so much, guys.
Oh, you're
This is so
welcome.
fun. I
Good.
appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And one last thing. Would anyone like to be part of my weekly blog emails?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you send out emails?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
I'll see if
I
I can
read your
find,
blog.
I'll see if I can find time to read it. I'm just joking.
So I just need your email, then I'll sign you up, and then once a week I'll be sending you something.
Yeah, I was looking at your,
to
when I
ponder.
looked at your, is it your website or, no, is your, are you Instagram that you see things?
Instagram, yeah.
Yeah.
That you see things.
Oh, I don't know, I just, that you
What
send
is
things
that?
on.
Yeah.
I just remember that one comment and it's interesting because I actually did read it and it was about tennis because we play.
I
And
remember that.
Natalia just
Oh,
wrote
gosh.
out, you know, I love laughing at myself, and I told Natalia this, I love laughing at myself whenever I hit the ball in the net, I think it's so funny, and I
Yeah.
thought this is so funny because I think it's funny too, and it just, it
oh,
always makes me
yeah.
feel good when I see that, so
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Don't you wish you did that every time in life? Oh, you fucked up. Oh, ha ha ha. But instead we're like, no, you stupid you know?
Yeah.
So, oh, the other thing, one more thing. If you know of anyone who could benefit from this work, send them my way. I would love to work with them and help them and
I
set
do
them
have
straight.
a friend, my friend's friend would
Perfect.
meet with you,
Great.
I told her about it.
Thank you so much.
So did I give her your call? Or maybe I didn't follow through. Let me double check, I'll
No
follow through,
problem.
I'll follow through again.
Okay.
I'll see
thank
if
you.
I did or not, I can't.
All right,
remember.
guys. Now you've earned your wine. Thank you so much.
Let's go for dinner and let's talk more. Like not about this heavy stuff.
Yes,
more
that's
like
it.
if
I'm
you
done.
wanna
Oh, do you
keep
guys
doing
want to
it.
do? You guys want to hear what I have?
Yes.
Mom, can I dye my hair? Like just the tips.
yeah.
And I'm like,
No.
this is supposed to be like teenage time.
7?
Yeah.
Because she said to me that Mom, Lexi gets to dye her hair blue,
Oh my god.
and I'm like, and so sometimes this one girl is saying
Oh.
things that I'm like, really?